My name's John Austin Lynch. I work for Renewal Ranch. My title here is the Marketing and Fundraising Coordinator, but I also am a graduate of Renewal Ranch. The moment that a person realizes they need help, they can't do this on their own, those moments are often scary, life-threatening, heartbreaking. For me, it was a felony arrest for residential burglary, where I was breaking into a neighbor's house to fund my habit. Others, it's their fifth or sixth overdose that they realize, like, man, I'm going to die if I keep going down this path. So it's oftentimes, most of the time, I think, it's a negative experience. When you're choosing a recovery program, the first thing you need to consider is how much time do you want to invest in your recovery? Do you want to invest 6 weeks into your recovery? You can invest 3 months. Some programs last a year, some last more. The second one is, do you want to stay local to where you're at, or do you need to leave your geographical location for your own safety? Is that feasible for your family? The last thing you need to consider is there's wonderful options, especially in Arkansas, for faith-based or secular recovery programs. As many recovery programs as there is a different approach for each one, depending on who conceived it, who came up with it, and who runs it. So to tell you that there are medical approaches to programs where you go on, especially with opioid addiction, where you go on like a Suboxone and you wean yourself off of opioids, or there are programs where, like the one that I was a part of and work at, where you come, you maybe go to a medical detox, and then it's a year of classes and a year of integrating into the community. The program styles can vary also from inpatient, like an inpatient setting, or a residential setting is what we call it, where you live on campus and you kind of cut yourself off from the world for a time, or you can do, a daily, I think psychiatric hospitals would call it a partial hospitalization, where it's kind of like a 9-to-5 job, where you go home at night, but you show up in the morning and you do group therapy and individual counseling for 9 to 5 for however long that takes. If you are addicted to a drug like an opioid or a benzo or even alcohol, those withdrawal symptoms from detoxing your body from those drugs can be deadly. And so our residents, and we recommend that anyone trying to quit those specific drugs would go to a medical detox, so that a physician can monitor them. They can be in a hospital setting and stay safe while they are taking their first steps towards sobriety. If you're looking for a program but you can't find a bed or a program with an open slot, you do still have options. There are an outstanding number of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous groups that you can find support in your community without maybe entering a program right off the bat. I would still continue to look for a bed, because chances are you do need that kind of one-on-one intense help that you are seeking. But in the meantime, set up accountability for yourself. Let people know your goals to quit. Go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting or a Celebrate Recovery meeting if that's a Christian option, and seek support wherever you can find it. Figuring out whether or not your family is going to be helpful to your recovery or harmful to your recovery can be a very emotional process. The family rallying around their addicted family member can be a very powerful tool for recovery. And we as an organization attempt to reunite families and help restore those relationships with group counseling, structured visiting times to kind of give those families a safe environment to visit and get to know each other again, because you are not who you really are when you are addicted to a substance. And once you become freed from that addiction, then you start to become this new person. And so it's important. It can be a sticky, painful process to get to know each other again. A person who has gone through recovery and has finished their program, we would say that person is still in recovery. So for me and a lot of my a lot of my best friends who are in recovery, our lives look like setting up accountability for ourselves, building up. We often say, I got my archers way high in the tower. I've got my friends looking out for me. A big part of life in recovery is community, and that's not just community of people who were addicted. That's community with people who have never faced these kinds of struggles that you have. That's been the biggest part of a lot of people that I know who are successfully recovering from addiction is building a community, a supportive, loving community who maybe, most of them, you need to find people who don't care about that stigma. And there are plenty of those people out there who can see someone doing well and making a good life for themselves, who won't care about your past and who just want to support you. So really, life after a recovery program and life in recovery looks like seeking support and supporting others. I would not count maybe 1 or 2 relapses as a failure in your whole story of recovery. If you have another chance after a relapse, it means you can still find success in your sobriety.